Are you ready for a BEPRO, PDEX, and or POLK price analysis? Well, if so, you're at the right spot. Welcome back to the CryptosRUS crypto and altcoin trading show. Today's Monday, October 18th, 2021. I will keep this one on the short side because I very recently covered these three assets. They haven't moved a lot. However, I wanted to first show off my shirt. But second, let you know that I'm going to tag up here. You should see it popping up over there. My Bitcoin analysis video. So you need to watch that in order to get a good feel of what is about ready to happen with these three assets, particular to Ethereum's weekly closure candle and the most likely scenarios that dance with the three most likely or two most likely scenarios with Bitcoin and its recent candle closure, because altcoins are going to be directly affected by what Ethereum is doing for the most part. There are very few coins moving with a lot of strength while Ethereum is dipping. For example, Veracity, it's among the very few. So as you can see here, move my ugly face, even BEPRO is coming down with Ethereum, for example. So you need to watch that video. And if you are returning, stop, drop, do what the no sign back there anymore says. I have a green screen now. But anyway, smash like for me, punch it in the face, flip it off, whatever you got to do, give it a love tap, and leave me a comment down below. It's going to help the algo, and it's going to help me continue making videos for you. Also, if you're new, here's what my channel does for you. You're getting 3 points, or you're only getting 2. I give you the third point in the information crypto triangle that you need to have on crypto YouTube. First, you're getting already project fundamentals and news-based information. What my channel does for you, particularly to altcoins, I help you get more familiar with charts so that it's not foreign when you're clicking around with your money, and I help you start to understand, hey, when am I statistically likely to be in the green immediately after clicking this button? With statistical likelihoods, definitely no certainties. That's what my channel does for you. If that sounds good, check out this video in its entirety, and then also go ahead and check out my Bitcoin video from today. It's going to help you out drastically. And if you're new, feel free to check out the links in the description section so you can see exact examples of the information that I leave and I give to my exclusive private gate community on Patreon and Discord. I was coming up short for words, so I thought it'd be goofy. Anyway, hey, let's jump right into it. No time to waste. BEPRO. All right, so I had a VIP on one of my VIP calls say that he felt BEPRO was going to pump from here, so he bought back in. He did sell around the line that we had. And I said, well, why would you do that? If it's doing the same thing over and over, you know, plan on doing that until it doesn't happen, right? If you're buying up here, you still don't know if it won't happen. And we actually were doing this like in the moment. He was telling me he was buying back right then, all that stuff. So, you know, especially, so if you are somebody who sees, you know, a specific type of rule that's playing out and you don't wait for it to happen, yes, Bitcoin just closed on all-time highs. Yes, Ethereum is closing close to weekly all-time highs, right? However, know that like this happened at the end of the week. End of the week. So candle closures. So if you know that they happened at the end of the week and things are bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum, you also know weekly candles. Let me make myself bigger. Weekly candles that are green, they have a red wick down, or they have a wick down, right? It's not just full on candle body. Sometimes that is. And if you see that happen and the candle closes, the next week's probably going to be green too. That's a super bullish candle, especially on the week. Ooh, that's honestly, I bet there might not be a single candle like that in all of Bitcoin or Ethereum. There is on the daily though. But anyway, green weekly candles often Monday and Tuesday move down first. And then they flip colors Wednesday. It doesn't always happen. I'm not saying that's 50% of the time, right? Even of green candles. Sometimes green candles, they only flip green like barely on a Friday and they're a doji green, for example, right? However, it is the statistical mode. So it's not the average necessarily. It's just the thing that happens more than any other one thing. That's just how a lot of weeks work. So particular to, for example, this BEPRO trade, not waiting for this, just, you know, thinking of Ethereum and Bitcoin weekly candles, you know that, hey, even if next week is bullish, yeah, I'm looking up. But this has happened at the end of the week. So what's going to happen on a bullish week? Oh, you're going to get a wick. What's going to happen to BEPRO during that? Yeah, it's probably going to come down with those two. right? So that's why I'm an altcoin channel, but I cover Bitcoin and Ethereum primarily. Why? Am I primarily trading those assets? Hell no, I'm not. Hell no, I'm not. I do like to trade them, but I like a little bit more volatility with altcoins, especially with all the leverage options now going on. But I cover them primarily because it's the basis, for altcoin analysis. I swear to goodness. And the ones that go against that, for example, Veracity, if you haven't checked out that video, go just, it has tags down there. Like this video has tags. You can go straight to Veracity. Check that out. It's going against it. But its specific formation is like an ultra bullish thing, and it is going a little bit against the grain. But that is the exception. So I want you to know that this is a prime example of a weekly candle closure. Okay? Weekly candle closure. Actually, I'm covering it. This right here is a perfect example. Actually, trading this, trying to think this is a higher low, which it was a higher low, but breaking a rule and not waiting for this as it was repeating is a perfect example of doing something at the end of the week, focus on candle closures, and B, focus on the whole market, particularly Ethereum, all right? So, that VIP who said that, obviously I'm not saying any names or anything, but it's useful for everybody just so you know that, like, you have to pay attention to weekly candle closures and how they behave, particularly when the next candle opens, even if it's going to be green. You got to get a wick from somewhere, right? And typically the mode is it happens on Monday, Tuesday. Sometimes it only happens on Sunday night, and that creates a nice wick, a 1% wick or whatever, and then it blasts off the rest of the week. Sometimes you barely have any time. All right, so what's happening on BEPRO right now? And again, I've already given this signal to my community. Heads up, other people. However, the move hasn't happened yet, so I guess that's not spoiling anything. This, to me, for new viewers, statistically likely type of trade, I think that this is a statistically pretty solid trade right here. You have a breakdown from the EMA that was working, so then you go look what's next down, right? What's the next thing if it breaks through, if Ethereum dumps or whatever, what is next? Well, the daily 21. I'm on the hourly chart, so you can see the chaos of the hourly candles. I drew in the daily EMA, the 21, and look at what's happening. Exact ping and a retest of it. Well, how often? So it didn't retest it down here, Tim. Like, well, it did here. Retests are very common, and the retest is when the move really starts to get going. It usually can take off after that. Here, look at this. So this wasn't the same daily 21. Daily 21's up here, the yellow line, but the one that was working, the 1 hour, yeah, look, pinged off of it. Somebody market bought way too much. That person became a wick. That looks like that's probably like a $40,000 buy, which in the end they're still up, but that's a pretty big market buy. Damn, slow down your horses, person. But anyway, yeah, so it somebody market bought that. It flew up way too much, came right back down to retest it, and then the general other people came in to buy, to pick it up. So this is a nice special, not only a retest, it's the retest of what is lower in the context that I think it's likely either Ethereum's weekly candle will close a boring small red or a boring small green, or this week's going to close green above its equivalent to 60K Bitcoin. I think it's 39.62 or something like that. It would be the highest weekly closure in Ethereum's history. And I think this week has a good shot of doing that. So in that context of BEPRO plus Ethereum, even in the non-bullish case that Ethereum has a weekly boring candle, this still is a statistically even safer, relatively safe trade for crypto. All trades in crypto are freaking risky. I'm going to lie. So in general terms, like, buying silver and waiting 10 years, that is way less risky than buying this right now, for example. And I'm not a financial advisor. We are talking about Pokemon cards that say BEPRO on it, by the way. So when I say buy, so I rarely say the word buy in my videos, particular to taking action. When I say buy in this video or any videos, I don't mean to take action with that. I'm saying if I were to do this, I want to be very clear. Anyway, if I were to enter this trade, which honestly I'm thinking about it, but I might not because I'm making a video on it now. I don't like to do that. So if actually I will not take this trade. Since I'm already holding BEPRO and I already have, I already have what I need from it with it. But this looks like a fantastic trade. This looks like a good one. Statistically likely for all the reasons I'm stating, right? And this one was a statistically good trade too. However, there was an increased element of risk because it was the end of the week, and a green week needs a red not a red wick, a wick down, right? So end of the week is tough. Especially weekend trading is harder, folks. I know there are other traders out there who say that stuff, and it's true. And partly because the beginning of the next week, typically, it has the habit of going the opposite way first, right? So you always get weekly candle closures. Anyway, so this is falling victim to weekly candle closures, and it broke down. And with all that, this honestly looks like a fantastic trade to me. I'm not recommending market buying or anything to that effect. However, BEPRO looks good. Now, what could happen here if Ethereum has one of those boring weeks? Probably just come up here again, range out, something to that effect. Maybe even retest the 21, right? So if Ethereum is not getting bullish, then profit taking at the same line might be a pretty good idea. And guess what? That is still one hell of an interweek trade. Fuck. Sorry, I usually don't cuss too much. I mean, look, a 23% trade interweek is awesome. Is awesome for a single trade. Whew. So I don't know. This honestly is among the better trade setups I've seen in a while. This looks really good. And so I thought it would be extra, and again, this could break down. I'm not saying this is even 80 or 70% likely. It's much higher than 50%, significantly higher than 50. And when you get trades that tell you, hey, this is statistically, more likely than perhaps other trades, that you typically want to take that trade. That's the point of trading, right? You have an edge, and here the edge looks good. Do you have a definite answer? No, you don't. So, if it comes down here and matches this low, which it could do, crypto has a wild habit of doing that. They like to retest a low, especially if there's some like daily candles hanging out here, which I guess we could go check that out. Let me draw a line here. Actually, it's a retest of this wick here, this wick here. Yeah, this actually looks like a line. So honestly, this could be the second most probable. I want to warn you, and that's why stops exist. Or if you have $5,000 to spend on BEPRO, don't hog it all there. Don't hit market buy with 5K. Either that, or if you do smack it with all that you got, set your freaking stops so you can buy down lower. The worst case is you get stopped out, then the move happens. Well, that's part of it. That is part of it, right? So to be very clear, I think this line right here around 9.0093 is the second most likely scenario. If it breaks down again, that is where it would probably go. And honestly, that would be a good entry as well. All you can do is have a statistical entry. All right, so I'm going too long about BEPRO. Said this would be shorter, but anyway, yeah, that looks like a really good one. All right, so POLK. All right, so POLK, per its 1 hour 200 EMA, and again, I'm on the really short time frames. I apologize. I've been doing a little bit more. It looks like, so, okay, look, without volatility, okay, yeah, let's say from here. So from, all right, let me zoom in. I'm going to make this one quick, I promise. Okay, so 1 hour chart, this is the 200 EMA, okay? Once it got above, see it get above? So this isn't much volatility right here. Even with not much volatility, you got wicks below it without volatility, right? And just lo and behold, when it got more volatile, it came down on a percentage basis lower than it did without the volatility. So now you have even more volatility. You're probably looking for a bigger wick down. Something like this. It's likely going to dip below that line more so than it did last time, right? Will it come all the way back down and test the top of this box, which has to do with daily and 4 hour closures? Maybe. I would say that's the second most likely scenario, is to come here and come back to the middle of the range. I personally would guess a higher low roughly at a 45-degree angle will take place, something like that. And that would be significantly below this line. It would come down and come back up and retest this, maybe consolidate. But I could see this coming down all the way to, I wouldn't say the box. I would say this might stop it because you have all this support here. So, I mean, something around 50 cents. That would probably be a good pickup level, around 50 cents. So that's what I see happening here. I already gave you the longer term time frame for Polk. So go to my previous video, new folks, if you want to see what I think will happen in what time frame throughout the rest of this year, most likely. I think that's the time frame, maybe through November. Look at my previous video on that. This is very short term time frame stuff to get a feel for what's going on, because I usually cover larger time frames. All right, so let's go to PDEX. All right, PDEX, same thing. It never even tested the 1 hour 200 EMA. It just blew past it. Blew past it. So what's it probably going to do? Since it got super volatile with zero retest of that line, which that line gets retested, folks. Look, I mean, look everywhere. Everywhere. It gets retested. So because of that volatility, and you're not in an aggressive uptrend, right? So aggressive uptrend, sure. Okay. You can come down here, really volatile, not go past it. But this is not an aggressive uptrend. You are in a range. So if you blow past it in a range, you're probably going to blow past it on the way down too. Not to the same degree necessarily, but you're going to wick below it more than it did here and here without volatility, right? So, I mean, this could come back down and check this box, folks. I think it went up a little too fast. Even though you did have some consolidation for about a half a day there, it's just that line needs respected. Now, if it doesn't blow past it, which it's already actually below it right now, damn. If it doesn't go down to this box, or let's say somewhere within this range, so it looks like it's about there, really. But if it doesn't go down to the box, what's going to happen is, instead of correcting by going lower, it's going to correct by going sideways, something like this. So if it doesn't hit this box, it's probably going to do one of these, because it has to double respect this line now coming down, right? Similar to how MTV, and you can go check out that analysis, MTV blew past its weekly 10, and now it's doing like 4 times duty on it. It's quadruply respecting it with 4 weeks. It's probably got a couple more weeks to go, so it's probably gonna do 6 times duty. So instead of a bounce here, because of that, I would suspect it's got to put in a little more duty, something like this, or it could it could correct and bounce because it went lower first, and then it doesn't have to hang out. So you gotta get down to get up. There are 2 ways to get back up. Either you get down real fast and then you can explode up, or you put in your time sideways, right? So those are the 2 most likely scenarios, but either way, it's almost there. I mean, how much farther down would that be? 15%? No, it's only 8. So it might have another 8% drop. But if you do see PDEX hit this line, like right around 1738, 1730, let's call it 1739. So like what I try to tell you on my channel is statistically more likely trades, right? That get a feel. Is this statistically like, that would be a really good trade. That would be similar to buying BEPRO at a double retest of the daily 21. Not financial advice, because this is Pokemon card trading, right? But that would be a hell of a trade if you could snag, if it goes down there and you were to snag it. Now, if it were to hang out here, right? Well, how could I know, it's going to be safe? Well, something that I stress to my community a lot, just look at the 1 hour RSI. If you're trying to get finesse down to the exact buy point, if your 1 hour RSI is not out of the red zone and on top of this and an uptrend, so you need an uptrend first, not an uptrend, okay? You need to be, actually, let's just write this down. Like 1 hour RSI is pretty powerful. 1 RSI uptrend. 2 out of the red zone. 3 bouncing on top of the RSI's EMA. This little trick alone, so this is really good for you. This is good and free information, if I could say so. Is this foolproof? Hell no, it's not. No, it's not. Stop hunts happen. If you're on leverage, you get stopped out and all that stuff. But incorporating this into when you hit market buy will drastically increase the chances and the statistical, like if you back checked all the other times you hit market buy versus implementing this during a day, like you're trying to catch a dip, if you implement this one thing while you catch a dip, you're gonna be so much better off from a statistical standpoint. Will it work the first time you try it? Maybe not. But if you try it 10 times, it's going to be statistically more likely than your other historical market buys when you're trying to catch a dip in an uptrend. Just wait for this. That's it. So trading can be super simple, and this is a very simple rule. Are there times when you break that rule? If like a really big trend line is being hit and you're still in a downtrend, maybe. Or you could wait till that rule happens, and what does that mean? That means it's the retest of that line as RSI is coming up and your timing's better. So so if you wait for this rule, even on a trend line, you typically can enter right before the move, as opposed to a big trend line. Here, let me make myself bigger. As opposed to a big trend line being hit with this RSI downtrend and a mini downtrend within a bigger weekly uptrend, right? You can drastically improve the timing and the finesse with which you hit market buy just with that rule. All right. So if you watch this far, I mean, in this stuff, and you got that free information like that, that's the type of crap that, I give to my community quite a bit in library videos. And I stress during, we try to learn by doing, and sometimes in the moment we actually do stuff during these video chats where it's not like a YouTube where people are chatting at me on the side or anything. You literally turn on your microphone and ask me a question, and turn on your video if you want to. And that's how this works. So honestly, these coins are not nearly as bullish as my previous video. So if you've watched both of these videos and you're newer to this and you're, maybe haven't subscribed yet, so just know that this is a good testament to I'm not always bullish. My last video is stupid. Like, honestly, that might be the most stupidly bullish I ever been. I almost stopped myself. But these coins are not performing quite the same right now. So although BEPRO does look like it's ready for a nice bounce. So that's what we got for you. And again, if you are newer or you've subscribed and never check out the community, I give exact examples of stuff I've given to each tier, so you can determine, hey, would this be worth my time or not? Before I accidentally became a YouTuber, I was never part of a community. I didn't know that it would be profitable. But now that I run one, I have VIPs coming in like, geez, this one thing like paid for 3 months of VIP, stuff like that. We have these live calls are really, really, really valuable. And in addition, that's like cherry on top, icing on top, or whatever on top of the stuff that I push out for value as well. So you can go ahead and look at exact links, and if you liked what you saw, don't forget to smash like on your way out and leave me a quick comment, even if it's LOL, you suck, actually, you really do suck, LOL, if no LOL at all, and we'll see you later. Y'all just got Timified.